Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Is it just you, Matt?
It's just
Chip.
me
And
and
Chip?
Chip.
Okay,
Chip went home, which I told him was a good idea, like he did last night, then he doesn't have to drive home late in the dark.
I'd rather drive home when it's a little lighter when it's this cold.
I would too.
Yep.
What if your car would break down or?
Yeah. Anyway,
She's gonna jinx you.
yeah, don't, yeah. Tim knows, one of my favorite sayings, you've heard of Murphy's Law, I've always said Murphy was an optimist.
okay.
Are we, are you guys waiting on me?
Yep.
Oh,
We're it.
I didn't know if you needed to, did you, if you called the meeting or I didn't
I
hear you
did.
say that.
He wanted us to salute you.
We could do the pledge.
So, sorry about that. It's been a long day. So I will start out by saying, thanks again for having me. I think what today we wanted to talk through is, we are finishing up the construction documents for phase 1 of the streetscape. And that will be hopefully underway here this spring. We have investigated two other projects. One being the streetscapes phase 2, which is mainly the historic downtown, and then Hanover Parks, and there's an assortment of projects that we investigated as part of that. And from past dialogue, I know that we didn't want to stop momentum on some of those things. And so I think what today is just a discussion on and kind of a workshop on what would you like to be as next steps to make sure that we continue, like I said, the momentum of these projects and trying to get these into, an actual project itself and moving forward with construction and so on and so forth. And so it's really just an open dialogue. I don't have any kind of format today or anything. It's just really open dialogue on what do you all feel like is your priorities, understanding what those priorities are as it relates to the parks and the streetscapes. I think Chip's here to help guide that conversation from Hanover College and their participation in these projects. And then getting to how does Lucken and Farley help you move into the next phases for whatever we determine today as a priority. So with that, I think, I guess from the town standpoint, what are the things that you've seen on the documents that you'd like us to start to consider as next steps?
Okay, I'm gonna start with the park, because Scott Williams would like to do something with the parking lot sooner than later. The two designs that you went with, do you remember which one we liked?
I have all the documents, so I can bring those up right now.
Okay,
I
I
texted.
think we went with
said,
the
"What
angled
meeting?"
parking,
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we did.
because we kept talking about, some of our senior citizens who use the park so much that it might be easier for them to back out that way.
That's right.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes,
I think we could get more spots too.
right.
so Scott's question was, do you guys do the parking lot, or can we take that design and have a local contractor do it for us that does most of our paving?
Yeah, that's completely up to you guys. We, here it is, it's over here. So yeah, you could easily have a contractor use this. It's a schematic, or not even a schematic, it's more conceptual, but it can easily be done by a local contractor. You don't necessarily need our help as long as the contractor, feels confident in how to lay this out but it's all within the confines of, the current asphalt zones.
Right, okay. So I think we would like to move forward with that.
Okay, so, yeah, as looking for that, we can completely stay out of
Okay,
that project if you don't need us.
yeah,
Yeah, we were wanting to get
And
that
since
done
it-
before.
yeah,
sports
we're
start.
wanting to get it done before ball season. So we were hoping
Sure.
that they could probably do that, early April maybe, when the weather starts getting better.
And even though they're not paving now, he wanted to get on their calendar.
Right,
Yeah.
yes,
Yep,
What would
So-
you do different? Yeah, and I see, 'cause there's probably some cost savings there too. Your next step here, Matt, would it be if you just had the parking lot to work on, would you take it to construction drawings next, I guess?
that's right, yep. So
And those drawings would give a lot of detail that could then be handed over to a potential contractor to help guide them. But there's not a lot of, I don't think this is real complex right here.
it's not, like we said, it's all within the confines of the existing parking. So we have the CAD that we can, hand over. We would have to have a release on that, so, because we are not doing construction drawings, we would be wanting to be released of any kind of liability, because
Sure.
we're not doing any stamped plans for this. You could hire us to help navigate, if wanted, any construction, questions that might come up, anything like that, but not necessary at all. And really, the plan we have is to scale. It's not done by any survey, so, we did on-site measurements, so they could make sure, so we drew it to those measurements. The only thing is if there's any grading or drainage that needs to be improved, that would have to be taken into consideration. But if you think that the parking lot drains well today, we're not changing much other than that center area. And make sure that all the water continues to go where it goes today.
okay. So are we all kind of in agreement on that?
Yeah, I think that's,
Yeah,
Parking has been one of the biggest demands.
it has, so, okay,
One of I guess, the most complex thing here maybe is getting the islands lined up correctly. Because those are new, right? The middle island's not the one that bumps out by the building.
Yeah, so there's a middle island right here, that goes away, and then there's several new islands, here. So really we would hand over our document that kind of lays it out schematically, and then the contractor can run with it. And really, we're suggesting islands and putting trees there. They could just be striped if wanted, but all of this could just be striping instead of actual curved islands.
That's what
But you want to set it up to be curved this is the entrance to the park. We want this to look as good as it can look.
That's right.
I think that central one too, since it's also kind of a pedestrian crossing, having a curve there
yeah,
and something more substantial than stripes would be a safety thing.
yeah,
Yep, that's the reason why all that was in there, just to kind of separate traffic and things like that. Exactly.
okay,
As long as it's not shrubs and stuff to take care of,
yeah,
because they didn't get taken care of out here.
right,
Yeah, we weren't suggesting any actual shrubs. I think they were all trees.
Right.
As long as you have a notable, landscape contractor, they should be able to make sure that the islands are dug out and put new soil in, correctly, and have good, tree stock to put in there.
Right.
And was this gonna be milling down that parking lot? Just kind of leveling it out, or was it using what's already there? Do you remember, Matt?
We hadn't really gotten to that, so if I would, so if we would go into construction documents on this, we would ideally want to have a survey. And, in that survey would give us information on grading and drainage and the actual, all the points of the parking lot for the curbs, and make sure that whatever the existing conditions are, we maintain existing drainage, and then we make sure that we're within the boundaries of the property line, things like that. Once we have that, we would design it and determine, like you said, if we mill it down or do we have to take up all of it, whatever. Since we're not doing that, I think, you know, a mill resurface is probably ideal. I think the parking lot has seen its time, and to mill it down and put it, you know, versus just a seal coat. You know, seal coat is nice, but it doesn't give it a new surface. So milling it down gets it to its base course, and then adding a new top coat and surface, so you have a good striping on it, is probably ideal.
And I think that's what Scott was saying, that they were gonna mill it,
Yeah.
Good.
so, yeah.
That adds to the cost,
Oh, yeah.
But it
But I
also,
mean-
but it also makes it last longer.
but Chip's got that in the cost, that's what I'm saying,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we would have to get probably a bid on it to.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would think you all would wanna get a couple of bids on this, and, I mean, since we're not going to somebody with construction drawings and there is some change there.
Right.
And assuming, in the end, you just wanna make sure it drains right. That's so important, of course. And get a couple of bids and then keep me posted, and, you know, let's see what a sub-grant would look like for this project. I don't know what else needs to happen in here. Do we have any other lighting we were gonna put in, or did Scott already finished his lighting?
He's already
I think
finished the
Scott
lighting.
took care of that.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, so we'll let Scott take that over then and work with Matt and get the drawings or whatever. And then
Yep.
Scott can put out the bids for that. The next thing at the park, I feel the restrooms.
Yep.
I think we need to get those done pretty quick. I'd like to do them more in the warm weather. So if we have to put porta pots outside, it's not gonna be,
As big of a deal.
yeah.
So does that include all the storage as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that whole
Okay.
back end,
Yep, the whole back end and I think the outside of the building too, that we looked at, you know, the surrounding, yeah. Yes, all of that,
You would include all the landscape and everything too?
yes.
Okay.
that way, it's done.
It's done. Then we can move on to what we have left, then we can look at the playground equipment or the property over there to the right or whatever we decide to do.
Okay. So for this, are you doing that in-house as well?
No,
Or do you-
no.
Okay.
No.
We can't handle that.
No. Parking lot's one thing, that's something completely different, no.
Well, I'm a little iffy on the parking lot, to tell you the truth.
Well, if we
yeah,
do,
I'd be curious to see, Matt, how you think the parking lot ties into the bathroom and the outside of the building. We wanna make sure that all looks like it ties in properly.
Yeah, so you'll see on this drawing here that, and I think Scott was putting in, you know, some sort of release so that you could drive through this. I think that's the only part that really needs to tie together, for the parking into this, you know, the overflow parking event space area. The new storage space, you know, we'll align that with, you know, what's going on in this drawing. As long as the contractor doesn't deviate from the drawing, I think we can align to that.
Okay. Yeah, we would want it to stay just the way you've got it drawn out.
Yeah, okay. So we can provide a proposal of, you know, what that process looks like for the improvements at the existing building to create this schematic into construction documents, and then bid that out as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll send a proposal then for all of that?
Yep.
Or, okay. Kinda like we did for phase one.
Yeah, it'll look exactly like the phase one, except for this project, and we'll include, basically, we have the concept, and this is pretty good jumping off point, probably more than a concept, more into schematic design for the building. And then we can have a jumping off point to go right into construction documents on this.
Do we need to?
And we'll need to get,
tenants?
I'm just thinking aloud, y'all, we need to get some, begin to get some ideas of the
See when
cost
a
of
good
this.
time, especially
So that we
with
can,
Right.
I wanna get an idea of budget so that we can budget and figure out, what are we? And in the back of the package that you gave us, Matt, are some cost estimates for this.
Yep.
I can't remember if the parking was in here, I'm sure it was.
I did, yeah.
Looking at the back of the package, I mean, the community center,
Here's the parking lot.
oh, is it down there at the, oh, there it is, thank you. Yep. So, I mean, that was estimated as $215,000 job.
I had all new asphalt put in though. I did not just mill it, took it completely out.
Okay.
So it could be less depending on, and I also have, $17,000 in here for contingency. I had a design fee of $15,000, inflation of $10,000, contractors' fees are in here. So, if you're doing it by yourself, this should be a lot less.
Okay.
I would hope you could get that up like under 100,000. And depending on, what contractor you use, I think it'd be good to get some multiple quotes on that, not just one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What would you all normally get quote-wise? Would you all get at least 2 or 3?
We usually try to shoot for 3.
3. I think our
Okay.
ordinance says
Says
3.
3.
It's a big enough project that I think it would draw the attention of a few people.
As long as they don't outbid themselves,
I know.
like with our community crossing grant.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it depends on how much other work they have in the hopper, and they just price it,
Yeah,
figuring that you won't take it, and then you take it, and they're just so happy,
right.
like appraisers do. Yeah.
So how much for the community center was you thinking, Matt?
So I had the community center at around 675,000. There's a fair amount of guessing in that because we didn't go in there. Part of the second phase would actually go in and we did take measurements and everything, but we'd have to do a lot more investigative existing conditions on this building. And so we'd be doing another investigative service. We would do I think what would happen, part of the second phase would actually be, as we continue on and start picking out things and having our mechanical engineers, electrical engineers dial into what's going on here, we would have a much more dialed in cost estimate after the schematic phase is done. So, but the current conceptual price at a high level was around 675,000 for all the building, and then it was around 91,000 for the exterior.
Okay.
So a little over $1 million.
Are we gonna think about, we talked about a gate
So 675 plus 91, is that
coming
what you
into
said?
the parking
That's
lot,
right.
Yeah.
remember?
So a little
Are
over,
we gonna try
it'll
to do
be-
that?
yeah, over 750, okay.
Well, one of the things so the exterior, that didn't include like an awning out the front door, did it?
We did not have that.
I don't think it did.
And we talked
No.
about that.
Cause a lot,
Yeah.
the seniors trying to get in and stuff and it pouring down rain and,
Are you talking about the very front of the building?
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Right here.
something over the front doors.
Right.
Yeah, that does not include that in there. We didn't get to that detailed design for that.
Okay.
But obviously we can certainly add that too. I would since we're working on the storage, we would probably add that to that portion of the project versus maybe the pavement project.
Right,
Right.
yes, yes.
We'd have to look at the structural elements of that as well, just to see what can be done. Is there a current, I can't remember, is there an awning right now?
No,
No.
nothing.
Okay, so we would have to see how it just ties into the existing building,
Yeah.
from a structural standpoint. There'll obviously have to be some sort of column post out there. It won't be able to be cantilevered off the building. I don't think your structure right now would support that.
Okay.
This is probably the meeting where we begin to hone down stuff like that, so this is a good time to have it.
Yeah, so if you want to include that, I can certainly include that as part of the the cost for construction documents of these improvements.
This is back to the parking lot, but at one time we talked about, and this council's been talking about it for years, a gate at the entrance. We used to have one, so you couldn't come in after the park's closed. Would that affect?
That would probably be something Scott could do, don't you think?
Yeah, if we have the money, yeah,
Right.
maybe he could do.
Is that,
I'd want it to blend in
is that
somehow.
something that we could look at, maybe a sub-grant, just for that project, Chip?
Well, I'm trying to keep the grants
Sure,
as meaty and as big
sure.
together as possible.
Well, if we did a gate, I would wanna do something that goes over it that says Hanover Park.
Yeah, we want it, not just a gate
just
that
a
Scott
gate,
would
but
go
something-
get.
Just a bar.
Something
goes
that
across.
would
Yeah,
just, you know,
that's what we had.
say Hanover Park.
You know, well, of course, everybody knows what it is and where it is, but this is when we do scope creep, where, we talk about, oh, hey, we're gonna do this, let's do that, and it
Oh,
just,
yeah, yeah.
I know,
We're
it's
just
hard.
thinking, and our police have reminded us of safety. And
You're right,
it doesn't have to
right.
be elaborate. You're right,
No, I can see
everybody knows.
I can see the benefit of a gate,
Yeah. We have one in the back.
That was the one that used to be at the front.
Opening it and shutting it each day.
Why is the one at the front gone?
Somebody like
it's in the
this
back.
garage.
Oh,
Yeah, there was one there for years.
Yeah,
okay, so the one at the front got moved to the back,
Yeah,
okay.
It was kind of a plain Jane, but it
It is.
worked.
it worked, it kept people out.
so that's kind of our start then for the park.
What,
Okay.
and maybe, I'm thinking about the gate that you mentioned, Treva, maybe, is that something that could be done in combination with the paving work?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, would it have to be
Oh,
anchored into the,
got you.
You'd have to
I
have
thought you were
concrete
saying make it a
built
part
off
of the
the
building
oh,
work.
no,
Okay,
no.
gotcha.
That's an easy one for that paving contractor to figure out. I would not put that on the building.
Yeah,
Right.
Gotcha. Agreed.
Okay,
Okay, so that's Hanover Parks.
yes.
Is that the only one we wanna look at right this second?
What else we've got? We've got the park extension, you all, and there you go. I've looked at this several times, just trying to figure out, how do you all accept the nice donation that the Oxford family would like to make and, get a road in that works for them. And I keep looking at it, all I can think is, maybe you get the 12 acres, you get a piece of a road in like Matt's got there, that section A that comes out of the back of the new fire station by the Dollar General. You get a little parking in there maybe, which I think people would appreciate. And then you try to get that soccer field in, and probably with the help of Southwestern and Bethany Legacy
right.
is my high level thought here. And then maybe some other work comes later. I don't know, maybe the retention basin or the detention basin has to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think
Probably from an engineering
he would
standpoint.
demand that the retention thing be done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It needs to drain right. So, a little piece of road, some parking, whatever is necessary so that the whole property drains correctly, so that's D.
Right.
And then, how in the world can we get a soccer field, since I think it's important to the school and it could help to pay for itself maybe. Because that whole plan right there, I think was estimated, it could be $6 million or more.
Yeah.
I think I had 7.
Yeah.
You did,
Yeah.
it was that high.
There was a lot of, assumptions built into that, i.e., what is this shelter? What is that playground? What are these ancillary, buildings here for storage, all of this part, so there was a lot of assumptions in there that I had to take when I built that budget.
This park extension, I think, unless you all think differently, looks like it lends itself to phasing.
Yeah, I think so.
And you have a plan, you have a master plan, like what Matt's put together.
Right.
And we do a little piece now that, kind of gets us the bare bones. And then it just becomes a goal over the next 5 to 10 years, you build it out.
Maybe like Bethany Legacy help.
Yeah, if they're interested in it.
So you're saying the first piece for us with what the Lilly money would be the road coming in, a parking lot,
The retention.
the retention, and just kind of getting everything smoothed out?
I think, getting the infrastructure, the minimal infrastructure like you just described, and then, and then what field, what recreational amenity do you put there? If you only pick one thing, what would you put there? Would it be a pavilion with restrooms? Would it be, another baseball diamond? Would it be, or would it be a soccer field?
Well, I mean,
And a regulation soccer field seems to be something that, I know Joe Myers has mentioned that they're badly
They
in
want,
need of
they
that.
want the soccer.
I mean, I think a soccer field and a baseball field, because we've got restrooms right there on both of the other diamonds. So, I mean, they wouldn't have to walk too far to go to a restroom.
If we had a phasing plan and we said, look, here's phase 1, and then we could list that phase 1, and maybe we could go to the community foundation and to Dora and Bethany and say, here's, the auctioneers are putting in the land, Jefferson Together, the Lilly Grant's gonna put in this much money, whatever it is, we'd like your all's help to
Right.
do this first phase.
Yeah.
It's a thought.
I think soccer field's important,
Yeah.
because school's brought it up to us twice.
Yeah.
We've already got a coach, she's already got all these kids to play, and
Yeah. So the road, the soccer field, the parking lot,
A piece of the parking lot, yeah.
a piece of the one of the parking lots, you've got 3 there, so.
Maybe not the one
Right.
that connects to the rest of the park. Maybe
Yeah,
just-
Yeah.
and then, cause we gotta have the retention pond, and, I mean, I think we're gonna have to have some sidewalks to get back and forth. And,
That's right.
and then if we had extra money, we could put a restroom in there and get that out of the way. Do some like little pavilion.
I mean, that's my thought is the only way to eat an elephant sometimes is one bite at a time, and here we are.
well, the only way you're gonna get that land clear and free is to get that infrastructure in, because that was one of his requirements.
Yep.
I think that's gonna,
Is that the first thing that we maybe need to do is actually ask Warren about, hey, we have a plan, because right now it's not your property, right?
Right.
Right.
So you have to get it somehow donated, so what is the requirement for donation?
So his question to us is gonna be, how are you gonna maintain it? How are you gonna maintain the road? How are you gonna maintain the parking lot? And that's why we hope we can say Community Foundation, Bethany Legacy,
What to maintain the
the
road,
school.
we'll be able to put it on our
We
community
can put it on
crossing,
our community crossing then, yeah.
once it's paved and everything.
that drainage is gonna be expensive to put in there.
Right. And and we already have people that mows and stuff for us, so
Yeah.
hopefully the school will help maintain the soccer field.
I
Well,
think Warren did an estimate at some point, and that's when the road was gonna run all the way down to the end of the property and then cut to the right, go straight into the existing parking lot.
right,
And the detention basin, I mean, now this is 2 or 3 years old, but I wanna say it was about $550 or $600,000.
I think I still have that.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere, but let's say it's 700,000, just to round up. And then there's some parking, you have to spend several $100,000 in parking, now you're at $1 million. I have no idea what a soccer field costs. Say it's another $500,000. Say you need to put $2 million into it. So if phase one's budget is $2 million, can we take some Lilly money and then I think we really need to talk to Jill at Southwestern, about helping to put it in on the front end or helping to maintain it on the back end.
well, when she talked to us that day, she said she's willing to do a yearly contract with us. And same way with tennis courts.
Did they ever say what that number was gonna be?
Kobe kept saying he was working on it, and
Yeah, I do think with all this stuff though, we need to make sure the town's name's on it rather than the schools. Like
Well,
all
Oh,
over
it'd
it.
be town.
it'd be
Yeah.
10.
What they do is just, we have like a line item where they donate
Yeah.
money to the,
Yeah.
for
It'd be a
just for,
Just
donation
like
to
the
maintain it.
signage on the things, I feel like it's hard for people to feel welcome to use a facility.
Oh, I see what
Yeah,
you're
no.
saying.
In the schools.
Oh, yeah.
name.
No, it'd be-
And it
Right.
shouldn't be,
Yeah.
even if they give us 10,000 a year.
Yeah.
We've got more invested in
It
it.
is town property,
Right.
but
Right.
it has the school's name all over it. And
Well,
that's-
you have to realize the town council member was the coach,
Yeah.
so that's how that happened.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do these two projects and see what kind of money we got left over? I mean, that's what I would do first.
Right. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think budgeting, a lot of what we're doing right now is just trying to get some numbers so I can put them on a spreadsheet and say, okay, if we start out with 2.5 million and then we start ticking it down, here's the parking lot, here's the bathrooms, we haven't even talked about Fireman's Park here. Here's what needs to happen in Fireman's Park. So, and then we just see what we've got, which is easy to do. We just need some numbers we can
Some
count on.
numbers,
Right.
yeah.
I think the biggest thing with that, when you get into these projects, sometimes it's like 25% more than what you expect.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where you think you got this much to spend and you don't.
Right, oh, yeah.
You know how it
So-
is, that's just the way everything is.
The way we could help make sure that, you don't go over budget on some of these things. So if you say you have a $2 million project for the parks, this portion of the project, you don't wanna go over $2 million. What I do is similar to what we talked about yesterday in terms of alternates. We have a base bid as your bare minimum. We think that costs X amount of dollars. And so, your base bid basically would include, this road right here, cause you have to have that to come into the site, right? And you would have some grading here for a soccer field, and then you would have maybe just a portion of this parking for people who wanna use this. And then as alternates, you could do another portion of parking, and then maybe sidewalks are asphalt versus concrete, which is two different costs. You would have a restroom that could be in there. So things like that are, that are all on your wish list, we could still design and, have as alternates, and then you can pick and choose what you want above the base bid.
Right.
Sounds good.
Asphalt sidewalks back there would be fine.
Well, that's what we have here.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
We have asphalt all
That's,
over.
the college had that for
Yeah.
years.
I think they give us a pretty good deal on that.
Yeah.
too.
They did.
And I think if Warren's worried about like having empty space that's unused, which I think he's gonna be worried about maintenance of that, we can just like
We're gonna mow it.
either mow it or put in like a pollinator habitat and call it like
Yeah.
an environmental protection area for the time being.
Like this by the science center.
Yeah.
You just kinda let it sit fallow for
Yeah,
a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, help the farmers.
Like Mr. Green did out there in his place,
Yeah.
yeah,
they planted that corn for the
yeah.
animals.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, we can't afford that right now, we're gonna have to do with what we've got, and it'll get
Right.
better.
Yeah.
That's the way I was raised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have a better answer than that.
So would it, I guess, if there's a budget that you're wanting to spend, I could help formulate what I think could go in that budget and maybe come up with a game plan for the phasing of it. That knowing that you want to have this road come in, some parking, have, a soccer field, or do we want to have a soccer field? Like, what are your essentials in this? So I could help phase this. Is it the soccer field? Is it the baseball field? Other than the road and the parking?
I think soccer,
I think it's soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer?
that's what
And then,
the school wants, and we've already really got
We
a
don't
soccer
have it.
I
team.
do think we need to just confirm with our parks department to make sure he's on the same page as well.
Oh, I know what he wants, the soccer.
Well, but he also wants baseball too. We can do the baseball
Right.
fields.
Right.
Baseball fields, I mean,
I just wanna make sure he's on the same page as
yeah,
us.
but I mean, I think
Agreed,
we need
agreed.
He should have been invited tonight.
Yeah.
to support the school and, since we don't have soccer.
Well,
We can
let's do this,
Mhm.
we're getting to the point where I need to do a spreadsheet for everybody to see, and I'll start out with the 2.5 million that's in the parks, and just start spending it down on a piece of paper, this for this much and that for that much, and we'll just begin to circulate it, and then we can rub our heads and moan when we see it,
Right.
and then we'll look to Matt to help make it better.
You'll rub your head and moan. We don't.
No. Oh, please. But yeah, it's time in the grant to start doing that for this stuff, because now we're beginning to get better ideas.
we have a plan.
We are working our way toward a plan. Okay.
So, Chip, you're gonna look at this, and then I have, again, there's a budget on this, and it's somewhat broken out. So you might wanna take a look at that to see where you think you can pick and poke and formulate some sort of first phase on that. That way I could, again, propose on it. And then maybe me and you work on what that phase looks like. Because
Right.
I don't wanna get to the point where you all think like, okay, you mentioned like a pollinator garden, that still needs to be graded out. And so there's, like, this is still, I forget how many acres this is.
12.
12 acres, and I don't think you wanna grade 12 acres out. So how do we get to a solution where we're not grading 12 acres out, and we're only grading a certain point, and what does that look like?
Right.
And what do you have to grade for the detention basin to happen? Because
And then,
that's probably a front end infrastructure need.
depending on how much asphalt goes in.
Okay.
So it does not have to be this big. So this was based on all of this going in and all of this graded out and everything. So it could be a quarter of this size. And then you leave the space to build future phases and build the detention bigger. So, that's the stuff that will save you money now, but you leave the space so that you can implement later. That's the beauty of a master plan, is you see what you're gonna build eventually, and then you can phase it in as you have money to do it. So, as long as we know that this is how big it has to be, maybe the first part of it is just right here, and, like in the center before it outlets into the existing streamline. And it doesn't have to be that big, and then we have everything set up so that it's, the infrastructure set up so it can all drain there. And maybe this doesn't get graded at all, and we just provide some channels to it so that it doesn't flood anything. And so there's things that we can do,
Okay.
but we just have to, make sure that it's phased correctly in that. And so I think maybe me and you work together, and then we can come back to the board on our game plan for this based on the amount of money that, the board and yourself wanna spend as part of the grant.
Got it. Is that okay with you all? I'll give it a shot. I'll take a swing.
Okay, and then, yeah, then we can set up some time and then come back to the council again to discuss. Does that sound like a game plan, everyone?
Yes, I
Fine.
like it.
Fantastic.
All right. And then, you've got Fireman's Park on here as well,
Yep.
with a handful of things. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I know I can say this about Fireman's Park. It's really trying to find the right way to say it. It's really important. I know it's important to the college. It's important to the grant because the grant envisions Maine and Madison being, as best they can be. So, but what do we do there? And then it just when you look at Fireman's Park, there's an obvious spot in the upper right-hand corner, sitting there, taunting us, which is the old firehouse. It's one of those things you hate to spend too much time planning the park
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
when you've got something like that in the middle or on the edge.
Would the firehouse fall into the historic district funds or the park funds? Cause it's a structure
Right.
that the town doesn't
Right.
own.
Jane, I could see it falling into the historic funds. If the goal is to get that and to help energize the historic Main Street in Hanover, yeah. That's actually kind of the nice thing about the buckets that we have. There's gonna be some overlap and, we can move things around as it makes sense within a bucket.
I did have, just a little bit ago, the veterans reached out to me wanting to have some numbers on Tuesday. They got a meeting next Tuesday, so I gotta get with both Scotts. I would like to work on that area up there,
Right.
Yeah, that's important, I think.
and hopefully during the streetscape, we can do some paving there and get rid of that gravel right there. I think just doing a veterans garden and maybe paving the road right there might be all we can do for right now.
Yeah. Kind of the facade of the park.
Yeah.
But they are supposed to help raise money for
I
it.
know.
It's not gonna be just
It's not us, we're not doing it. They want a plan, and until they have a plan, they're not gonna even.
We've been talking
Talk
about a
about money.
plan for going on 2 years now.
Well, every time I give it to them, they don't like it.
Yeah. We assigned 2 people to work with them.
I know.
Were we that's gonna be separate from your work, Matt, the Veterans Garden?
Yes,
Or were
that's
we gonna-
completely different.
Yeah, we've separated an area for that to go into. It's
Right.
basically what
Right.
So I think
Um,
where we are with
oh, go
this
ahead.
park is basically, we need to see how the budget is working with the other park priorities and then see what we have to work with, that can make change to Fireman's Park.
Yeah, I put Fireman's Park, I don't put it above Hanover Park necessarily, I put it above some things at Hanover Park.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we just need to work it all together
Yeah. I
and,
think
and see how it works.
when you're
I mean,
looking at
Matt-
the meetings where you're gonna talk about the possible addition to Hanover Park, I think you're looking at this stuff at the same time,
Right.
kind of.
The Matt's group put together just a budget for this, which includes restrooms, playgrounds, pavers, everything that it would take to do what he has on there. There you go, $750,000. I immediately went to it with a pencil and pulled out the bathrooms, which were $230,000 for
Yeah.
that. By the time you add the contingency and all that. And I love, anybody over 60 years old loves to have bathrooms handy, and I'm one of those guys. But, that's maybe one of those things you do in the future, and then maybe someday if the firehouse becomes available, it would be the place for bathrooms.
Right.
One of the things that I think is important over there is the ADA sidewalk
Yeah,
from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be done.
Just as infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a lot of fun sledding on that this week.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Oh, I bet they, well, the video was great. Thanks for sending that, Treva.
Yeah, I sent it to him. So he could see.
Hear us last night talk about it,
What's that?
the meeting
Well, let's-
tonight.
I think your spreadsheet's important
It's okay.
Apparently not.
on all this stuff.
Sorry about
From
that.
Let's take a swing at it. We'll just start putting stuff down and then we'll have something that we can chew on.
Yeah,
From a phasing standpoint, if we're not doing, if you can't get control of the storage building, getting some, I think, do people park here already in front of the building?
They park in front of the shelter house. He doesn't allow parking in front of his building.
Okay, cause he mentioned that to me, in the meeting when we did the big group meeting at the end of last year. He said, you gotta remove these parking, I'm not gonna let anybody park there,
Yeah.
so.
well, they do when he's not there.
Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
seen it.
yeah.
Where's that at?
So, maybe it's a slight improvement to this front area, and then like you said, a first phase is easily reconstructing a sidewalk that's ADA appropriate all the way to the bottom with some sort of landing down here.
Yes,
That could easily be a first phase, and then off of that first phase, you're gonna be doing your, Veterans Park, which would be a nice addition.
yes.
And that can be done completely by the town, wouldn't need myself. I
Right.
think we would like to be involved in the ADA path, just to make sure it's
Yeah,
truly ADA.
Yeah, we would want you guys to do that, cause
Cause that's quite a hill.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
yeah, cause I thought it was already ADA. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
no.
went through all that years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and they said it was when they
And
put
they
it
said
in,
it
but-
was, but apparently it's not.
Well, back then it could have been,
Yeah.
laws
all
changed.
Yeah,
It would be, maybe it was Tanner, I can't remember who said it, Matt, but when you all were presenting this a few months ago, somebody said something about having, and maybe it's on the plan, something tall, like a tower down below, so that you could see it from Main Street, because it's hard to see how far back the park goes, because it drops so much.
Right,
And if you had like a piece of playground equipment that was, I don't know, 15 feet or 20 feet tall, and it's very,
cause you really don't know it's back there.
you don't know it's there,
No.
and at least that would draw your eye to it.
Right, right, I remember.
Because it's such a nice asset, it just doesn't show as well as it is.
at nighttime, it's there. Have you been by there at nighttime?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's lit up.
It's
That's
like a
awesome.
small
Yeah.
city down there.
And part of that could be, so you get the ADA path in, and we end in an unfinished zone, that could be, so that, like you said, that this E is that, down at the bottom of the hill, that, new playground area. And that could be a really cool idea to do like an ADA playground,
yes, we need one of those.
so that's a perfect spot for it. So they park up here, and then they can have a really nice walk down to their playground, and then, also be involved in basketball and all the things that are happening down there as part of that.
I think last time we talked about this, Chip mentioned that with the property that's been purchased across the street,
Oh, yep,
there
yep,
may
yep.
be like a landing down there that could be parking as well.
Oh, but
Yep.
on the south side of the
That
ball
house
court,
that we,
yeah, we mow
They
that.
bought.
I know, I can ask
Yeah.
that boy that, if you guys are interested.
I think she's talking about the property across the road, weren't you?
I think so, so across
Well-
from, across Presbyterian from the park.
Oh,
oh,
that's the
So
one
there's
Chip
two
just.
pieces, there's two pieces of property at the foot of Presbyterian Avenue there on your right. One is the house that Landmarks bought on the other side of Presbyterian. It has a little piece of flat. And then Scott's talking about that other piece that belongs to another neighbor on the other side of,
Right.
is that First Street on the other side of
Yeah.
First
First Street?
Street,
maybe?
yeah, it's a flat landing
There's-
across there.
For potential parking, if the park ever gets to the point where they need it, it's
Yeah.
off the map. Oh, there you go, there's First Street. Yeah, it's just across First Street from the park, there's some flat land. And the owners live up on the hill, it looks like, to me.
Yeah, they do, yes.
it's where the old yellow
Okay.
bus sat forever.
Marvin said there used to be a
So-
mobile home park down through there years
Really?
ago.
Didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Well,
maybe
Mhm.
3 or 4 spots there that are available.
Yeah.
But the ideal parking would be where you're talking about, cause kids wouldn't have to cross the busy road.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll put that on the spreadsheet and then we'll just, I think that's what we do at some point. We just, cause we all know that we've got a certain dollar amount we've got to play with. We might as well just start banging that
Right,
around and
yeah.
it'll help guide our talks.
Yeah.
And I'll just wanna make sure that, you know, we have some contingency in there, cause, you know, if you say that we wanna spend X amount of dollars, you know, it's gonna be more than that, and so
Sure.
we gotta be less than what you wanna spend to cover.
Right.
I don't wanna go over your budget, is the point.
Nope.
Well, we just went through that with DNR. Took 2 years to get the grant. Everything went up, so we had to cut. So we're used to cutting stuff out.
Yep,
I spent many years telling my developer customers that I wanted a bigger contingency in their budget.
Yeah,
Believe me. Oh, don't worry, I've got it covered. I got 3% in there. No, thank
Not
you.
anymore.
we like to do a 10%, so I have, like I said, in
You did.
phase 1, I have a 10% contingency built into the cost of the project already for
right,
phase 1 streetscape.
right.
Yeah.
So now that Scott's here, could we real quick go back to the parking lot
Parking
out
lot.
here, since he's gotta do work?
So what
yeah, did you guys pick?
so what I asked, yeah, we picked
The
that's
one we thought you wanted.
that's the one there where it's easy for people to pull in and out. It's
Yeah.
got the slant. I asked him if you could take that over and get the bids for it
And
and
supervise it.
supervise it, and then, we would, go with their plan, the way it looks right now.
So that keep the greenery in the middle?
So we definitely wanna keep the greenery in the middle, because that's a walkway. See where that's a
Okay.
walkway?
So it's right there where what we need to take out, right?
No.
It's over a little bit,
It's over a little bit.
yeah.
It might overlap
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
little.
It's gonna be, it's
So
gonna
here-
be like where the
Here's
door
the
is.
existing,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the existing.
so we have the existing kind of underlaid on that, so there's, gotta take out that whole other thing, and it's all brand new over here
Okay,
and up here.
just take that out and then start all over then on the island
Yeah,
and with some green.
So really, it's, all your perimeter should stay the same, and then, like, your perimeter curving and everything should stay the same,
Yes,
and then everything else is brand new.
And no
We-
shrubs.
and we talked about putting something in keeping the little kickouts that we got
right.
and putting something green in
Right,
there,
yeah.
right?
Well, they're gonna be doing the exterior of the building,
Yeah,
so when they start planting, we could actually.
yeah, I can get dirt put in there where
Yeah,
to grow
and
stuff.
have it just ready to go.
Yes, I can plant flowers, I just don't know what to plant, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trees, I
And
don't,
Matt can
I don't
help
know
with
what
that.
tree goes where.
Uh,
And then on,
I can help you with that.
and then on each end, you got a little, of the parking lot, you got some greenery, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
but he's already got a list of trees that
Yeah,
grows
Yeah.
well.
I remember
Yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, you were here. So you feel
And those
comfortable?
medians are curved, right? All that's curved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you can always call me.
and so.
And I just need to get like
So we
actual
was,
sizes.
so we was gonna mill it down, right? Was you gonna get it all milled down?
That's
and-
what I was hoping
Yeah.
to do and
So they
mill
had,
it and,
right, so they had in their budget 215,000, and that was for everything, but they were gonna do drainage, but our drainage is okay,
yeah, the drainage actually in this parking lot's all right.
okay? So,
It's somebody.
he knew we could get it done cheaper with us, because, so.
Yeah, because
so-
I think the price I had to take that out and I think it was like 60,000 or something, but that was last year.
Yeah,
But this add to it,
But
but I think we're well
we'll
under
wanna
that.
get 3 bids,
Okay,
Or that's what we're required to.
yeah.
okay.
We also were talking about getting a gate for the front entrance.
Nothing elaborate.
There used to be one there.
I know, that's why,
Well,
and
it
our
has, it
police
has to
said
be a
they're
double
going to
gate
this.
to where.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
we
like
do.
what's in the back.
Yeah,
That's what used to be there.
yeah,
And we'd kinda like to add that to the sub-grant,
Okay.
so.
But they have to take that in mind when they're paving.
Yeah, nice.
And Matt will work with.
And pour the concrete right over there going into the grass still, right?
Yeah, you have them to where,
Where the blue is.
Yeah.
And that's gonna mess up, what, 3 parking spots?
so is that gonna be always a ramp, is that, okay.
If that's what you guys want.
Well, I mean, they didn't wanna do away with that parking, so,
It's technically interrupting 4 parking spots, so could we pour a ramp at an angle
Yeah,
so that it would only interrupt 3?
that's what I was wondering, I didn't
well,
know.
yeah, cause they're coming in that way.
Well,
Yeah.
You could just do a curb cut and then ramp inward this way too.
That's true.
And so the sidewalk would dip down and then back up,
Right.
Okay, we could do that, yeah, that would work.
and then you'd still keep your parking spaces.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, that would probably be the best thing.
Yeah.
Now, is the
You just need it to be
milling
flexible.
included in that price? I thought he said he didn't count on the milling.
No, he was gonna take it all the way down, Matt was.
Yeah, he was gonna strip her down.
He was
That's
gonna strip it
what
all
makes
the way
it
You
down.
wanna
Chip-
take a mill an inch and a half anyway
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
don't
But
you?
Chip, did you have that planned in the budget? The milling?
I don't,
I didn't think you did.
well, no, there's no budget for this right now.
Yeah.
We're building it. We're building the airplane while we're flying.
But you'll add that to it.
Oh, man.
Well, and that's why I need Scott to get some bids so that we can, I mean, I'm gonna take a swing
have
at
a
it, just on a
ballpark
piece of
figure.
paper.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So,
Yep.
Matt, can you send all this to Scott?
Yep,
That's,
You probably have that.
yeah, I haven't looked at it close enough to see if the dimensions for the little greenery areas are in here. The one area
Yeah.
by the front door already exists, so.
Yeah,
Or I think.
well, that's
doesn't
new.
Quite follow the same footprint.
yeah, that's a new one.
So here's
This
the
is
existing
new.
one.
Oh, are we supposed to take the old one out?
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Yeah,
old one goes
we'll
in.
have to.
'Cause I think you relocated that light pole too, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
the light
We
pole's
got,
out
we
there,
just
that
set a
thing.
light there, yeah. That's all just been put in there.
But we're gonna have to move it, otherwise it's gonna be in the roadway.
Anytime you have questions, though, you can comment.
No, yeah, I'm just thinking that, cause we got the wire comes in from
Right,
back here,
right.
so there's gonna be we'll have to dig all that up to get to the wire, cause it just, that, and you got a
Reset the pole again.
camera, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It'll be okay.
the camera, yeah.
Well, we're catching you cold on it, Scott. You really need to take a look at it, maybe live with it for a little bit and
Yeah, I'll forward all the drawings to you. And
Yeah, that's fine.
it'll be a much bigger drawing than this. It'll be a full
Okay.
dimension drawing.
And I can forward it to Kim and she can print it, they got a better printer
Oh, yeah.
than we do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the sooner we can start getting bids to give you a ballpark figure what to plan, the sooner the better. Because it's gonna be time to pay before long.
Yeah, if we get the ball rolling on this now, maybe we'll be first on the list in
Yeah,
spring.
but he's counting on your bids to give him a ballpark figure to build the budget.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay,
Let's do it.
Okay.
let's do it. I just wanted you to see that firsthand instead of us trying to explain it to you.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So, parking lot's gonna be first. Then we'll start the bid process when he gets all the things for this building, the backs and the outer. And then after that, we'll see what money we got left and hopefully get
Yeah.
an ADA ramp over at Fireman's Park and,
Do we need to vote on anything for moving forward, or?
I guess
So-
we could vote for Scott to start getting bids.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay,
I'll just pick 3.
Yeah.
All-Star, Wingham, and C-Dance,
Right.
or not, O'Meara.
as I said, you said you'll marry.
So Debbie and Treva, you still want me to provide a proposal for this phase, right?
The,
Bathroom
Oh,
the bathrooms, the storage and all
Yeah,
this.
we want that to
Yeah.
be the next,
Yeah,
like, let's
Right.
say if this is phase one, the parking lot, then that is phase two, so
Yeah.
we're ready to go with that. We're ready to
And I-
to get it
That's gonna
together
look
and we can
nice,
bid
yeah.
it.
I agree
It's gonna
with
be
Jane,
nice.
we
Yeah,
need
I
to
like
check
that.
with WIC, they could have something big going on and
To check with the tenants in the building
Right.
before we, like,
pick dates to
pick
start.
dates to start
ripping it out.
construction on
Right.
bathrooms, so. I know we were saying doing it when it's warmer, so people don't have to be in portlets in the
Can
cold.
can we open is there any way to maybe temporarily open those restrooms back that we closed with WIC? That, one of those,
Yeah, I think they're pretty
those
much,
legs, they're
yeah.
done?
Well, the seniors won't like any time, which I wouldn't either if
Well,
I were
Scott's
over
worried
here.
about the parking lot and whenever it's
I
starting
know.
to ball, and I said, well,
We
either
gotta-
get a parking lot or we'll have to figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't pave it in the winter.
no,
No.
well, then you don't want all these people over here and trying to pave a
no,
parking lot.
no.
And we
Yeah.
can look, there's nicer restroom things that we can look at, if it's gonna be down, you can,
There's like trailers you can bring
a
in.
trailer in
Yeah.
and, so we'll look at that.
And if they can do one back there and leave the other one alone. Or it might
What do you
be
think the
cheaper.
time frame would be on those bathrooms in that back corner, all of that?
To do what, to
Just to-
construct it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to tear it apart and put it back together? From when they closed it when they opened? How long do you think they'd be closed for? Cause we're gonna have to find some other,
I see, I'm gonna I have to get back to you on that one, I'm not sure.
okay,
I can certainly get back to you on that, I'd like to consult my architect on that.
Sure,
we just have a lot of seniors in the building, so we need to look at some
Yeah.
type of alternative that we can
Kind
put
of
somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah, the way I see it is, the parking lot is phase one for us, because we're doing that locally,
Right,
but the bathrooms are
phase one for them,
London
yeah,
yeah,
Riley,
that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
because they're gonna be taking out bids on
Yeah.
that stuff. So it's kind of like two phase ones
Going
happening
at
at
the
the
same
same
time.
time.
you got that, Chip?
Phase one A and phase one
Phase
B.
one
There
B.
we go. That works.
We'll get all confused
Alright.
here.
So we don't have to wait till we finish the parking lot to
Yeah,
set
no.
up those
Well-
bathrooms, so.
Your temporary bathroom for the seniors is gonna be the toughest, because you bring a trailer in, it's gonna have steps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. You know. There's a way.
With just one step before, but,
Well, we could build a ramp to the trailer though,
You could, yeah.
well, and they usually have, cause, I mean, I've done it, they've got a bar that you can hold on to.
yeah.
You gotta go bad enough, you'll jump up in it. I will.
Oh, I don't, yeah.
A bathroom with a bar sounds like a place I wanna be.
Yeah.
isn't it a bar with a bathroom?
Depends on how old you are.
So do we wanna make a motion, to give Scott permission to go ahead and get 3 bids on the parking lot? I'll make that motion.
For a second,
second.
all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
That way, he's got his marching orders. Not that you need them.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna do it without you guys.
Oh, I
saying it.
know. It just makes it cleaner if we do a motion, like James
Yep.
suggested.
Okay,
See, I have this, which,
And we're supposed to be doing another motion tonight, adding to your contract money.
figure out where the money's coming from?
19,000,
Yes.
You did?
Right.
Matt, did you figure
So-
out where the 19.2
2.
is coming from?
Did I find out? I did not see where it was in the budget, I was mistaken when I said, I thought it was 20,000 from Wheatley Group's redevelopment, and it was 10. there was no 20 that I could find anywhere that was in the current budget.
So we have to count on Chip to come up with it.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I think that's where we are, and the college will support that if you all would like to vote on it.
Okay. So it's 19,200. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
I'll make a motion to approve 19,200 to be added to the Luckett Farley contract, and that's to come out of the Lilly money.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Got it, thank you. What I'll do is I'll do a sub-grant amendment for you.
Okay.
Is what that'll look like. It's just gonna be maybe like a one-pager that just amends the existing sub-grant, bumps it up by 19.2 for the purposes that Matt laid out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Go ahead and do it. Thank you for your partnership.
If someone could sign, I sent that amendment, if somebody could sign that and send that back to me, I'd appreciate it too.
Okay.
Let me, I think we ran it by late this morning, but let me just confirm with him, you all, that's what I need to do, and then
Right.
Debbie, you're the one who'll need to sign that, I guess.
Okay. You
I'll do
haven't-
that, I'll do that tomorrow.
You haven't sent it yet though, right?
No.
Matt
Yeah.
hasn't sent it, okay.
Oh, you did?
I don't know.
We got it
Okay.
yesterday, there were 2 attachments, right?
Oh,
so
we got
there's-
it from Matt.
There are 2 attachments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
we
was,
got it.
Yeah.
We got it yesterday.
The other attachment was the
Okay,
newspaper.
yeah, I found it. That's what I sent the girls today to have them,
Gotcha.
print it off for me. So they've got it printed off, I just gotta go sign it.
Okay. Hold that until I just confirm with Blake. I'll do that tomorrow. We'll be good. But yeah, sign it whenever you get to it, Debbie, and hold it for just a moment.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you again.
Yes. So that's parks. All
And
right.
and you've got
So we're
everything
gonna-
you need on the news release. Did you read
You
it?
sit, I haven't had a chance to read
Yeah.
anything.
I read it. I think you got,
You sent me everything that I need to post for the paper,
right.
news release and all that, right?
I did, and there was,
He had some questions.
yeah, there were some questions. I had one question on, and it was based on your attorney's time to,
And we haven't heard from him.
We've not heard from him yet.
okay. I still need that before we should, before it goes to the paper, I should probably wanna have that in stone.
Right. Definitely.
So Pat needs to look at it before it goes into the paper?
No.
No, he just needs to
We just
agree
need
that
to know
he'll be
that
there
date for sure.
to open
Yeah.
the bids.
Okay, so he'll be there.
Yeah.
That's right.
The attorney opens them.
Yeah, I sent all this to the front office today to print off and have it all ready for me, so.
Okay, great.
Well, all you'll have to do in that news release is confirm that date and then just ship it to Julie. And it'll be done.
I see the lights are out for you, Matt. Thank you and Chip both for staying late for this meeting.
Yeah, Matt, you're in the dark.
Yeah, I am in the dark.
There goes my light.
Chip's at home, he's still, maybe his wife's flashing for, come to dinner.
Did you wanna talk through the
There's gotta be a better way to
streetscape?
phrase that, Treva.
Do you what, Chip?
I said there's gotta be a better way to phrase that. Never
Oh,
mind.
well,
I mean,
your wife's flashing, yeah.
since we're here, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Streetscapes?
Yeah,
So we have our plan, so we'll provide the proposal for this portion. You all are doing the parking lot, and then Chip and I are gonna discuss parks beyond this in terms of a budget to
yes,
get back to you,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Alright, streetscapes, here's streetscapes. So, on this one, obviously like, from a funding standpoint, I'm not sure where we're at because we haven't bid out our final documents yet, right?
Yep. And
Um,
so,
The estimate is currently just under 2 million.
to get the sidewalk and the traffic signal and the crosswalks and everything in.
That's right.
And that's including, I think that includes the fees that we've incurred so far, your all's work, so.
Yep, that's right.
So it's kind of like the parks in a way. It's like, okay, what do we have left? And in round numbers, so this is a $4 million bucket, sidewalks and streetscapes. So in round numbers, we're gonna have a couple $1 million left, including the contingency. So, I guess the game here is, if you want to see some improvements along Madison and Main Street, and to the extent we can, Main Cross, what can we get done for a couple $1 million?
Or what would your priorities be, I think, is the big thing, and then we can, again, kind of come up with a game plan for the cost of that. And then I think it's another version of, like, the other two park projects of, what's the priority, and then we can me and you, Chip, can work on that, and then come back to the council.
Okay, I got it. Like, your all's budget for this, well, wait a minute, we have just a general budget, and, well, what Tanner, I think, gave us, or you gave us, somebody gave us, in the back of your proposal, was that, it could cost, on the low end, it could cost $500 a lineal foot, up to $1,000 a lineal foot, so just a running foot along a street to do sidewalks, streetscapes, curbs, get parallel parking spots lined up, maybe do paving or some paving on the streets, I don't know. But you don't have to do the entire stretch. We don't need to.
And you don't have to do every single thing in that, so this is broken up, that 500 and 1,000 is broken up into sidewalks and paving, the streetlights, furnishing amenities, landscape, infrastructure. So,
For instance, I ran because I was talking about lineal feet, if you go from where Main and Madison meet each other at Old Finnegan's, and you run down Main Street toward Main Cross, it's right about 1,800 feet. Yeah, so, there you go, thank you. From C to E is 1,800 feet. And so that's 900,000 to $1.8 million using the $500 and the $1,000 a lineal foot. And that's doing everything over 1,800 feet. I don't know that, it depends on what you all think. I don't know that we need to do everything. It seems to me maybe we focus on certain areas along that stretch. Because we have sidewalks.
Yeah, we have, the sidewalks are in good shape through there.
Yeah, they're not the width maybe that we want, or maybe they're not planted like we want, but we can get some of that done.
Yeah.
I just, blowing up sidewalks now to put in better sidewalks, maybe we could use the money better than that. But I don't know how you all feel.
What about curbing?
I think that's important because you can also build up a little bit of a strip of grass or something next to the sidewalk and begin to green up some of that area again.
I want something that when you drive down, you can tell that we did something,
Yeah.
I want it to at least stand out and say, oh man, Hanover really did something here,
I thought we was talking about a sidewalk down Locust too.
We did,
to the school.
for school
School.
kids.
Yeah, there isn't one there.
Right. And we talked about, somebody brought that up at one point. Yep.
Well, when Matt looked around the town, I think that was brought up.
Yeah, I think my priority is where a sidewalk is absent, we would wanna try to get one in, especially if it's a path
To the school.
for the school. I think that would be my priority. I like the idea of curbing, I like the idea of like a consistent lighting, cause that is like something that's visual and makes things
notes, sorry if it's coming across loudly.
I think we talked to some homeowners on Madison about sidewalks. There was the one homeowner that was complaining about something with their,
Oh,
That
Rick
was
Snayville?
Dave Elks.
yeah.
I think that's gonna take curbing and stuff.
Yeah, that's just a.
But you can do that.
Yeah, it
We're
wasn't
working on
made,
that,
yeah, I
so it can
know,
be
it
separate
needs a
from
curb
this.
put in
Yeah.
Okay.
to
It's, I kind of agree with Debbie. I think we want people to drive down the street and say, oh, they did something.
yeah, I like to
They
see
did
some
this.
benches
Um,
and stuff down there.
You know, we're spending a whole bunch of money out on 56 with horizontal improvements. It's all pretty flat, which is why yesterday on the call I was asking about the guardrail on the retaining wall. It's like one of the few vertical things that we have. That and the fence along Madison on the practice field. We just have so very little that's vertical there, but we need the sidewalk along 56. There's just no question.
We've got some trees.
Yeah.
In the trees, yeah. I would like to do as much vertical as we could through town, because I think people see that more and maybe appreciate it more. And it would be great if we could use the streets that we already have and use striping. I mean, I'm trying to cut some costs here. You know, can we use striping and lining on the existing, because for instance, Main Street is so wide over by the post office. I think striping it up and with bright, fresh new striping and showing where parallel parking really should be would be an improvement.
I think it would be,
But,
I think a lot of people have had controversial feelings about some of the striping in Madison.
Well, it got a little confusing.
They
Um,
get used to it.
So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think,
the bump outs, you mean?
well,
I think in general,
yeah.
Yeah. You didn't know
Well,
which
people-
lane to get in.
people-
Yeah, if you lived here all your life, you're used to going one way and now you can't.
But if
Yeah.
we're not making changes and we're just restriping, then
Yeah.
maybe it's not
But
a big
he-
deal.
I think
right,
he was talking about it's such a wide street, he was
knowing
like,
where it's at.
well, angle parking, you know, people pull in front of their house, I think he was talking about,
Oh, really?
I think that's what Chip was saying.
Was you talking
Well,
about,
I'm talking about just, I mean, people parallel park up and down Main now,
Yeah,
but you really, it just, that, the whole street and the parallel parking all look like one great big pavement
yeah,
to me. And I think if you bring a little organization to it, like the edges of the road, and then between those edges and the sidewalks is where you parallel park. I mean, at least it begins to show some organization in town, and that might clean it up. That's not vertical improvement, so I'm going against what I said earlier.
well, I agree,
And then-
it all needs to be striped and
I-
crack
I
filled and
think-
seal coated.
I didn't think we could do
You
that
know.
with this money. Remember I asked you about the street out there?
He was gonna find out.
Oh, okay.
If we could
And
use it,
maybe, you know, you take a parallel parking spot and maybe you put a curve around it and take away that parallel parking spot and you put a bench there or something. I mean, just something to begin to bring some interest to the streetscape. You know, we don't do the bump out curves like Madison's done, although that's real common in cities, and I think people get used to it. It's a safety thing, but we don't have the same foot traffic they have.
Yeah, I know that where C is, that intersection is a little bit dangerous because it's offset.
Where's that, Jane?
Where C is,
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's some, you know, like, maybe we need a crosswalk there. I mean, I don't know.
I think.
I don't normally look at crosswalks as an amenity, but when the whole streetscape is kind of gray, you know, maybe a crosswalk looks like it's organized and it's there and it insinuates that people are using it. It feels like it's an active place.
and we don't have those things where there's like a big stripe right before there's a stop sign. Like I've been
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at.
the
oh, the stop
The
bars,
stop
Yeah.
bars.
they wore off. We
Wore off, yeah.
have had them, but they wore off.
Yeah. low hanging
Yeah.
fruit to do those things.
Yeah.
To try to make crossing
Right.
clear, parking clear, stopping clear.
You know, some safety, for sure, some safety stuff. We have kids who, you know, cross country, or not cross country, just runners who are jogging up down the streets from both Southwestern and Hanover.
Yeah, so sidewalks where they don't exist and they're needed, striping and things like that.
Mhm.
See, we have
So
money for curbing.
what's the priority of the area though? Is it just Main Street?
Well,
Say
the-
Madison
the-
Avenue, Main Street.
Yeah,
The grant spends a lot of time talking about Maine and Madison.
Yeah.
historic district.
That's right. You know, actually all the way out to Gendy's, which you've got as one of the nodes, is F. So it's really, it's the core, if you will.
And
I know that was a big piece of the grant, and the intention of Lilly and the college was to do as much as possible. There are more streets to do it on, for sure. Oh my goodness.
I would concentrate on a singular street to emphasize your, like you said, Chip, a core portion of your town that you want to start to uplift, and doing as much improvement on that street as possible, and then working from there on your other tertiary, secondary streets. Main to me is your main street into town and to the campus.
And we've got a bunch of people who use Madison, but honestly, we're doing a number of things in Madison, on Madison Avenue, that is, already. Fixing up some places and, you know,
There's really not any stop signs on Madison, or there aren't tons of parking spots on Madison unless you get closer to the town hall,
yeah.
which honestly really needs them. But I think with all the stop signs and crossings on, Main Street, it makes sense to make it a focus for City
Yeah,
Hall.
you have three major crossing points there, yeah.
that's an entry point for a lot of people. It gets more traffic than Madison, and certainly at Main Cross it does. I mean, that's the busiest intersection in town right there.
Right.
You know, and that's an important node, is making sure that Main Cross and Main, get dressed up a little bit, because we've got that gravel lot on the corner that used to be the log cabin. Tim knows the name. That used to be, it was a log cabin and a laundromat, and a handful of things over the years.
Oh, mods,
Yeah.
Yeah, got torn down. I mean, that,
The brown
And the
people
jazz-
thought it might be a gas station at one point.
on that corner,
before
they
that,
probably think every corner
The
had a gas
laundromat
station.
across the street, definitely, they thought so.
oh, it was.
Okay,
You talking about on Madison?
yeah.
Yeah, I got a picture of that.
Oh, and on, at Main Cross, where the laundromat is now,
Mhm.
they thought that might have been a gas station
There's
at one
one
point.
on
Because
this
there's
side
like a
of it.
hole in the parking lot that sinks down where they think there might have been a tank.
Well,
Oh,
wasn't there
really?
a grocery store through there too?
Well, right on the left hand, on
Yeah.
the right hand side,
I've seen a picture.
what was it, Aldridge's? I remember that store when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
Yeah.
Then,
But-
Mrs. Finnegan said that little house there was a bakery.
That's why your house is zoned the way it is, because of
Yeah,
all
it's
those
all business
businesses.
down through there.
We'll put a bakery in.
Yeah.
You can, it's zoned for that.
So
Tell
Matt, your
Denise
thought
Oh.
is to focus as much attention and money as possible on the most core, the most main street, which in this case is probably Main Street. And then supplement after that, or maybe we leave some money aside and we do a little bit on some other secondary streets, but focus as much as possible on one street.
That's right. I mean, streetscape standpoint, they focus in on their main street first
To that
because
printer.
it collects the most amount of people, has the most impressions.
That thing out.
That actually reinvigorates and provides redevelopment to the city
It's.
and allows for people to say, you are, and we've had this discussion, you are investing in this street, therefore I want to invest in it. Once that happens, you get more tax dollars, which it allows you to,
Things.
create better, or other projects from that. And so, if you start to pick and poke all over the place, people don't realize it, and I don't think that's what you wanna do. I think you wanna concentrate, and you should concentrate on the area that most people think is the main part of the town.
Show the investment. Make sure people see that the town has invested in itself.
That's right.
Right,
Wow.
Well, I think that's important.
I do too.
Okay.
I think it makes sense.
Okay, so what we can do maybe, Chip, is take this offline, look at Main Street and kind of pick some things that we think are gonna fit in the budget and come back to the council with some recommendations.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with that if the council's okay with it.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we can do that. This is helpful. Yeah. I just need this.
We need y'all.
But I really need it. You think I've been drinking coffee this whole time? Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I think when people see a community invest in itself, they sit up a little straighter. And I said that probably the first meeting that we all met, that's all I ever wanted was for people to sit up a little straighter and be a little prouder of their town. And I want kids who grow up in Hanover to want to come back and live in Hanover and work here, or live here and work someplace else, whatever. We just want as many to come back as possible. And I think what we're doing on 56 is a big part of that.
Yeah.
That'll look fresh and new for sure.
Okay.
You are doing vertical, you're doing a whole new, pedestrian crosswalk.
Right,
If that's not showing investment, I don't know what is.
exactly,
It's gonna have flashing lights and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of flashing lights, is there any reason that the old traffic signals at Main and Main Cross need to remain there other than they flash? And would it offend anybody, or is it against the rules if we replace it with singular flashing lenses?
No, you can do that. That's just the way we set it up. We made it a four-way
It was-
stop, and we switched a
Right.
little button in the panel, and it flashes red. We have-
Okay, it doesn't have to remain an old style traffic signal.
Now, we could put new, that could be done,
It could be just, instead of 3 lenses on each side, you just have one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never paid any attention to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I look down here at the stop sign.
yeah.
Yeah, it's, because you drove through it your whole life, yeah. I mean, me neither.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Matt, can you pull up your newspaper letter?
Say that again?
The
Can you,
notice.
can you pull up your newspaper notice
Or-
that you sent me?
Oh, for the bidding?
Yeah. Can you pull that up?
Give me 2 seconds here. There you go.
Okay.
So,
First, first of all, that first thing, note to classified editor, you don't put that in the notice, cause she will print that.
okay,
That's like your email.
Right.
Going to her,
yeah,
but it won't run Wednesday, it's
it's
Friday.
Friday is
Oh.
February
Right,
the 6th
right.
and the February the 20th.
Yeah, if you can, I
Well-
gave you the,
And
The
that'll
file.
go in Debbie's email, cause if we send that to her, she'll put that in the paper.
Right,
And we don't want that. Let me tell you, we have people in this town that read these notices front and back, and then they'll call me and point out errors.
yeah,
So, I'm not kidding. You can guess who one of the people
yeah.
is.
But don't run it until we figure out this time.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
But
exactly. We're just, well, we've got you here.
So that
Yeah.
top line needs to come off of that particular.
So the
document.
note to, I'm gonna put that in my email.
Yeah.
So when I email it to her, it's gonna say note to the classified
Well,
editor,
you
please
don't have-
post or
you-
whatever.
You don't
But-
have to
Yeah.
put that,
Yeah.
just say, Julie, please run this
Run
Friday,
this, yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is, everything from here down is what she needs to run.
Right, so
Yeah, notice to bidders, yeah.
you've got date, March 12th. Isn't that
Yep.
March 19th? If we can, if our attorney can do it?
19th was opening bid.
Bid
That's
opening on the
bid
19th.
openings, yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I missed that one.
So make note on that, Debbie.
Why don't you give me the time, I'll send a brand new one.
Okay. Let me print this out and I'll send you a few things.
Yeah, if you wanna do that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You also have, you have, I gave you the Word document, if you wanna just correct that,
Okay.
however you wanna do it, I can correct it, or if you guys
I can
wanna
help
just
with
put
that.
the correct stuff on there.
So we probably talked about this. What is pre-bid conference?
What is it?
What is it on February 19th?
So it's a conference that, so this is going to be publicly advertised, and so they will go here to this website
Right,
where they'll be able to pull the documents. And you don't have to do this, but it's customary to do this, and, I, along with, whoever from the town would like to attend it,
right,
has a conference that goes over the requirements of the bid and the overall scope of the project, and allows any of the contractors to ask questions, and I can answer them.
and that's what you were gonna call a meeting for,
Yes,
February. I just
February
wanna make sure
19th.
everybody,
yes.
It does not have to be a public meeting where all the council comes, so it doesn't have to be that way. You can elect it to be that way, it's however you want to, but it's,
What would
this
you-
is just,
what would
just
you,
for the public process to make sure that everybody who's bidding on it understands what they're getting into.
okay. So, if we put that pre-bid conference in here, that is inviting the public to come.
Yes, it's inviting whoever is wanting to
Whoever wants
bid
to.
on this project to come.
Well,
The
no,
public can,
it will invite the public, cause they're gonna see it in the newspaper and think, and if we call a council meeting, the public can come, but if we're not gonna have a council meeting, just a few council, I don't know if I would put that in there for our community,
which part?
the
The
pre-bid,
pre-bid?
cause that's,
I have to.
Yeah,
okay,
you wanna give
well
everybody
then,
an
we should
opportunity.
have a
Yeah.
council meeting,
Yeah,
not just two,
that's why I said, got it down to schedule a meeting.
Well,
yeah.
let me ask it this way, who runs the pre-bid conference meeting?
I do.
Matt,
Okay, so this is a Luckett and Farley called meeting.
Right, well, and that's fine, I'm just telling you, if it goes in our newspaper, public's invited. Now, I'm not talking about contractors, the public is
we
invited.
just know how our public are. Matt's
Well,
probably
it's a
not
law.
seen that, I know, but they're gonna come, and so it's good if we're here to just kinda say, this is what's going on.
Sure.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
We're
So
like
typically, typically I would want you all to open up and just say, thank you for showing up.
Yeah,
We appreciate your time and effort to come here. We're really excited about the project. Kind of give them, a
Sure.
little bit of speech about the project, and then
Right.
that's where I'll take over.
And
Yeah.
anything in this room has to be recorded and put on YouTube anyway,
Exactly.
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, anything
if it's
that's
a
a,
council meeting,
Okay,
Well,
or a
Yeah.
planning commission, but this is not our meeting, it's their meeting.
okay.
But since we'll be here, we have to
yeah,
do it.
more than two of us.
the inference, if you have it there, the inference is, it's a town council
Yeah.
meeting.
Right,
It
No.
doesn't, it
that's
doesn't have to be
basically,
there.
yeah,
Well, and
It
here's.
can be in that other room
But-
next to you all.
But no, here's the thing, so if, we've already got dinged for this once because somebody else, another engineer company, called the meeting. Me and Treva came. They considered that as a quorum for that meeting, even though we didn't call it.
And it wasn't our meeting.
And it wasn't
yeah.
our meeting, and we got in trouble for it.
We got dinged.
So that's,
Interesting.
yeah,
Who's dinging you all the time?
That
I've
would
heard
be-
so many dings in my life.
that would be Warren Oxford.
He's our,
He keeps
yeah,
he keeps us online, which is good. So I don't wanna, that's
but
why we're gonna schedule.
we got turned in.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Uh,
We accepted that we messed up.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
he
didn't,
knows-
we
he
didn't,
knows
well,
that.
that law had changed and we didn't know that.
Yeah.
We
Our
didn't-
attorney didn't know it.
Yeah,
is the quorum more than, is two of you though?
even,
I don't
yes, even, well, for that.
For
even
that, it was.
For that, because it was,
Who knew?
yeah,
A quorum is
I think you need to have a town council
But
meeting.
not in a committee.
But not in a committee, yeah.
yeah.
But yet on the planning commission, the state law says you gotta have 3.
And Matt, you would take people out on the site, they would meet at the building, have questions, and if anybody wants to be on site to actually walk State Road 56 and see the property, you would take them out there, right?
That's right, so that's part of the pre-bid is I invite first I ask,
Yeah.
does anyone wanna walk the site?
Yeah.
And if anybody does, I'll walk it with them, and if nobody does, then I don't go out there.
Crap at the
Right.
bottom.
But
And then I also say, on your own time, you're more than welcome to walk the
Oh,
site.
Sure.
it's down here.
But the
Yeah,
town council
the
needs
very
to be
end,
prepared
don't
for this
put
meeting to
February
leave the
5th.
building.
That's right.
Where?
At the very bottom, where it says
What
in
time we having that?
section.
You can adjourn the
don't put
meeting,
all that
and the town council doesn't have to attend that part.
Right. That's what I would recommend, yeah.
Yeah.
I can just say, following this
Yeah,
meeting,
like in
I'll
this
be out
section,
at
does it
the
go in
site
there?
at
Or does
McDonald's,
the town of
if
Hanover
anybody wants to
land
walk the
does
site.
it? 'Cause he's already
Right.
set us up there earlier, February
I-
5th, nothing to do with him.
Okay.
So you all are gonna call the town council meeting February 19th at 2 PM?
Yes,
Got it. I have a question about, it's a short line, all work will be awarded under a single general contract. Let's say, the base bid comes in and then the alternatives come in, the 3 alternatives, and let's say the town council says they can't believe what they wanna charge to plant trees in that one alternative. We wanna take that one off the table and do that ourselves, for instance.
Uh-huh.
Can they do that if everything's gonna be awarded under a single general contract?
Yes.
As long as, yeah.
So just the work that is accepted by the town will be
Okay.
done by that singular contract. If the
Okay.
town decides to do it by themselves, which is perfectly fine, they can do that or hire somebody else to do that under a different contract, but it's under a different
Different contract.
contract.
Got it. Thank you.
so when this ad hits the paper, people that have questions, they're gonna call you, Matt, right?
I have your number on there, Treva.
Yeah, listen, my number goes in all the others. And I get the calls, that's why I'm watching. Trust
Yeah,
me.
they are absolutely calling me.
Well, I wanna make sure our staff at town hall knows, cause they're gonna call them.
Well, here's
If they
my,
have
I have a question though, when it says that, then, it's gonna be sealed, bids and stuff,
Right.
and that Hanover Streetscape Phase 1, location Highway 56 in Coons, at Hanover Community Center, Council Conference Room 200 Spruce. So, are they gonna be bringing their bids, like if they're gonna hand it in, cause it doesn't,
No,
It has to be handed into Kobe.
right,
yeah, this is the,
It has to be a sealed document.
right,
yeah,
And
Okay, I
with
see
the
where-
title that's on so I have a whole spec book that isn't part of this, and on there gives them the requirements of what they have to hand in. So there's a
Okay.
whole bunch of things along with a bid check
right,
that they will be providing,
right,
that's in a sealed document with a certain letterhead on it, that
okay,
gets handed to your attorney, that the attorney needs to stamp in to show what time it was received, to make sure it was received before whatever time it says.
right.
Anytime after that, you have to reject it.
right, okay,
And this pre-bid meeting is just showing them what they're bidding on,
That's right.
so they won't be bringing.
They won't be hitting anything in on the pre-bid.
their chance to,
I got it.
their chance to ask questions.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay.
Freezing.
It is, isn't it?
All right.
I feel like an air conditioner on.
I have to drive to Hanover now.
Oh, man,
No,
What?
you need to go.
yeah.
Yeah, get out of there.
Yeah.
I gotta go pack first.
Oh, it gets worse. Well,
So,
Well, be
have
safe
fun
with
in
the
Owensboro.
ice.
I'll be working there, but it's, my daughter's an actress and she's in a new movie there, so her first day on the set is tomorrow morning,
That's good.
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Cool.
Well, tell us what Kentucky Westland does really well and bring it back to us.
Okay. Sounds good.
All
Is that,
right.
is that all though?
That's
Yep.
it.
Okay,
We're good.
alright.
Thank you.
Chip, I'll get with you on some dates that we can get together.
Okay.
Maybe you come to the office one day or something.
I'll
And we can
I'll
sit
plan
down.
to come to your office and, yeah, you worry about that. You get to Owensboro and see your daughter and we'll worry about that first thing next week, setting something up.
Sounds good. Alright, thanks y'all.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
be
See
safe
ya.
out there.
Have a good night.
Make sure we're
You
turned
too.
off.
Okay,
Alright, let me go get the
I need a
recording.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm freezing.
If you'd have sent that in, we'd have had to redone it,
Yeah,
cause
I-
wrong dates.
I hadn't had a chance to look